Okay, I have some exciting news here. What we have in the studio here is the all-new, super hyped up Google Pixel 6 Pro, and I'm really excited about it, so why don't we go ahead and jump in. Now, to start off, this phone is not available just yet for you to go to the store and actually just purchase it. However, it is available for pre-order as of yesterday, as of the event. Yesterday, you can pre-order that, for it to be delivered next week. And by the way, this is going to be more of a over the top so that you can see the unboxing of this baby right here. The regular Pixel 6 will run you $599 for the base version, which based off of the specs is actually a pretty good price. And actually cheaper than we expected. The Google Pixel 6 Pro, like the version that I have here, is going to run you $899, which again is still cheaper than what the rumors, well, we expected it to be higher than that. I personally anticipated this thing to be around $1,000 given the caliber of the phone and the specs. This particular unit was sent to me by Google, and I am not at liberty to discuss every single detail until the embargo lifts next week. With that being said, we can still do the unboxing and first impressions and go over some of the specs that this bad boy is pushing. And you can see here that what I have is the Pro model of the Pixel 6 lineup, so the higher end here. And it is also the larger model when compared to the regular one, the Pixel 6. You will, however, notice that the box is pretty thin compared to the previous ones, right? And it kind of matches what we have here with these other two here, the iPhone and the Galaxy Z Flip 3 here. So essentially telling us that Google is following what other manufacturers are doing, meaning that this thing does not include a charging brick for the device. But either way, let's go ahead and see what's in there. Notice here the tabs that you rip off to open this guy, kind of a reminder of what we have with the newer iPhone box, right? It's pretty cool to have this new no box opening hassle type of trend. But anyway, so as we pull the top open, and sitting right here is going to be this new beast of a phone here. Well, supposedly, and we'll get to test it out, right? So let me just take it out here. Wow, it just looks very good. Very different as anticipated for sure, but yeah, very, very good. Let me pull this cover here to unveil the display here. Let's see. Yeah, on the side here we have the power button, the volume rocker right next to it there. A little different also. USB Type-C at the bottom here, the speakers. Now I like the stainless steel finish on the side here. Now I know a bunch of people are really big fans of the matte finish, but I do like the stainless steel here. It just gives it a more premium feel. It looks amazing. It makes it, it feels very, very premium and just feels different in the hands. Very, very cool. I like it. And if you do know me, then you know that when it comes down to tech, I generally like things that come out of the ordinary, and things like the Galaxy Fold, the Flip, the Wing, things like that just hit different. But let me put this down. Let's go back to the box here. And as I mentioned earlier, as we were looking at the box, Google is following this new trend where they don't put the charger in the box, and other manufacturers are doing that. I personally don't like it, but it is what it is. What can you really do? Anyway, so just like the other Pixels that I have reviewed on the channel here, you have a USB Type-C cable here, and they also included that same USB Type A to USB Type-C adapter, that little tiny adapter there. And lastly here, there's this quick start guide or manual. That's pretty much it. The unboxing is done here, but let's take a closer look at the phone itself. Very clean. And by the way, if you're enjoying the content so far, I truly appreciate that. Please do me a huge favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a huge boost to this channel here, and again, I truly appreciate that. But anyway, so it's very clean and very different, as I mentioned. And on the back here, you would get kind of that tri-color scheme going for any of the other Pixels. As a matter of fact, for any of the other 5, even for the black, you still get kind of a tri-color scheme. The camera module there, or camera bar, is always black. And still sticking to the back here, let's talk a little about the cameras that we have here. What we have is the camera module, or the camera bar, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a triple lens setup, and it includes a 50 megapixel wide, a 48 megapixels telephoto lens with 4 times optical zoom, and then of course you have a 12 megapixels ultra wide, and at the front here, the selfie camera is an 11 megapixel camera there, and it's an ultra wide lens represented there in that punch hole. Now, obviously, so far, my first impressions are just positive, you know, in terms of like superficial stuff, right? And, you know, I mean, like the way the phone looks, the way it feels, and all that good stuff. But I'm still limited to sharing, you know, just my reaction on just these things, but nothing particularly deep until at least after the embargo is lifted. That being said, some of the things that I can share here include, of course, the platform that this thing is running on. And if you may be familiar with this already, Google is running its own silicon. So it's running this phone with its own custom chip. So it's boasting that new Tensor chip. And I actually covered that a little while back when it was first announced. And you may have heard it also during the announcement. You also have a new Titan M2 security chip here. And of course, we have Android 12 loaded up here. This unit is loaded with a whopping 12 gigs of RAM, and that's actually pretty solid there. It has 128 gigs, and you have 3 configs total: 128, 256, and 512 gigs of internal storage, all with 12 gigs of RAM. That is pretty solid. As far as the display goes, we are looking at a 6.7 inches display, and it's pretty big, right? It has a tiny level of curve to it, along with some pretty thin bezels on the side here. And it's an LTPO AMOLED display, so it will support that high refresh rate at up to 120 Hertz, all the way down to 10 Hertz. That's pretty neat. So whether you whether you call it a variable or an adaptive refresh rate like we've seen on some of the recent flagship devices, it's a great, it's just really good for battery. It also supports HDR10 plus, and the resolution on this guy here is going to be 3120, so 3120 by 1440. And as you can imagine, pretty tight PPI density at 512, and that Quad HD sharpness is really no joke. Overall, it's a pretty large phone, and you're also looking at a large battery added to this phone here. You're looking at 5003 milliamp. Now we're gonna get to test that out and see how long that lasts. Based off of specs, you cannot really anticipate how well it's gonna do, but we do know that some of the changes and some of the way the chip is going to be managing, and the LTPO screen there is going to play a major role here in saving battery. It's also fast charge capable, fast charge both wireless and just regular. If you were to plug in, it's also fast charge capable at up to 30 watt and wirelessly at up to 23 watts. It's also reverse charge capable, right? So you can use that to charge like your earbuds or something like that. Now I think we've covered a good chunk of what this baby has to offer. So let me know in the comment section what you'd like for me to test out on this phone here. I certainly hope that this was informative, of course, and please don't forget to like, comment. Like I said, I'm going to catch you in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe also if you haven't done so just yet. I'm going to catch you in that comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video, and of course, up until that next video, as always, stay safe out there.